We're back in the Lighthouse Diary. Once again, outdoors edition. We got the breeze going on. This arm is a little sore. This shoulder, um, because I just got my first dose of the vaccine. I got Moderna. Um, it's been suggested or recommended to me that I get Pfizer, but thankfully, I honestly wanted Moderna, because I think last time I heard about someone, a family friend or something, they had Pfizer, and I think, yeah, it still didn't help them. I think I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't want to have a false memory and then share it, but yeah, I was just like, Pfizer is looking a little sketch. But again, like, it's not me, telling you what to do, like, or anything. It's just I'm just sharing my story. Again, your body is your body. You know what to do with it. I'm not here to tell you what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I don't mean to scare anyone. Anyways, I got "Come On Eileen" stuck in my head because of Matt Pat. It's Matt Pat's fault, and Foot of a Ferret. Yeah, it's their fault. So yeah, that's why I kind of was humming it earlier. Anyways, but we're not here to talk about vaccines and earworms. No, that's not what today is about, clearly. Um, Today's episode is going to be about the series Little Women. I forgot the company that produced it, but it should be easy to find because it's starring Bey. And speaking of it starring Bey, yeah, besides Bey, I wouldn't have changed the cast at all. I thought everyone was perfect for their role. Yeah, I can't really think of anyone cringy. So, 10 out of 10 for the casting. Um, okay, I don't want to be mean, but I want to bring it up, okay? Here we go. Okay, so I saw let me tell you the other Little Women's that I've seen thus far. I've also seen the Little Women starring well, it's not called The Little Women, but the Little Women film that stars Elizabeth Taylor and June Allison. I've seen that one, and I've also seen I didn't. Funny enough, I still haven't seen the Winona Ryder version, and I've also seen the 2019 version. I believe it was that year. But anyway, the other version that I'm talking about is the one that's starring Emma Watson. I typically respect Emma Watson as an actress, so it's just, yeah, I figured, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. It has Emma Watson. But as much as I loved um, how Emma Watson's version of Meg, yeah, Meg, was written and portrayed, honestly. Overall, for that version of Little Women, I wasn't too happy. Simply because I actually shared a very similar opinion with another audience member in the theater, and it turns out I wasn't going crazy when I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, it doesn't feel much like the book. Like, it's very apparent that they took creative liberties to, I guess, express the motives and the stuff that you don't really see on the pages from, the original novel by Louisa May Alcott. Um, yeah, I was let down by the recent version because well, like by that recent film, despite it starring Emma Watson, because I mean, here's the thing. I don't think it was the acting per se that suffered. I really think that it was the writing. It was the directing. It wasn't for me. I feel it resonates more with audiences that kind of crave something that sounds not to be mean, but something that sounds woke. And I mean, I get where they're coming from, and I can kind of, relate to some capacity. Well, my teenage self can relate to, that need for that wokeness, but there's no need to make Little Women even more woke, because the thing is that Little Women, the text is already posing so many questions. Not even questions for the 1800s, the 1900s, but now, so there's no need to uh make it super quote unquote relatable. You know what I mean? Like, uh, there's no need. But that's just my humble opinion. Um, yeah, because for me personally, when I walk into a period piece, whether it's a documentary even, or a film, or a show, or a book, like I just mentioned before, a play, the reason why you're going into a period piece is to escape, right? Because I mean, sure, you want to connect with the storyline, the characters, but you don't really need, what do you call it? You don't really need well, at least I don't. I don't really need nitty gritty details, um, that are, purposefully added on for something to be relatable or woke. Like, I personally don't need that. Um, because I really do feel that Little Women is it's a classic for a reason, and I feel that it speaks for itself. So I and honestly, I wouldn't have changed anything about the original work, and I think there were too many creative liberties done with forgive me for saying this, the Emma Watson version of the movie. Um yeah, it almost felt I don't mean to, be cruel or anything like that. How am I? Okay, let me collect my thoughts. Hold on, just a second. Okay, I'm back. I just had to think for a moment. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that we're all human, and I think that's enough of a basis to be able to empathize or sympathize, with a character in a fictional work. The fact that no matter how times have changed or whatever, I really have just gotten to that point where you start to pick up that a lot of it is just different versions of the same thing, different versions of meeting the same need, the same service, the same whatever. But that's just my personal opinion. It's just a different style. It's, different ideology, but, the needs that we try to cater to, regardless as time goes by, um, the needs are basically the same. The feelings are basically the same. Um, the issues, the situations, the experiences are all very, very similar across human beings, across different centuries, different decades, etc. Do you see where I'm trying to get? Do you see where I'm trying to get? Am I making my point clear? Am I expressing myself without being mean? I hope so. But anyways, but yeah, that's my but honestly, this episode shouldn't even be too much about that iteration. Um, but yeah, just to just to rewind a little bit, let me talk a little bit about the version with Elizabeth Taylor and June Allison. I personally liked it, um, but when I was watching a commentary of the different versions, including uh, the the Emma Watson version, as I just said, the Winona Ryder version, and I believe it was Katharine Hepburn. Yeah, I think yeah, that was Katharine Hepburn's version. Katharine Hepburn's version. That was the first of the line of Little Women movies, and apparently, the one that I do like so far, the version with if memory serves, I do remember liking the version portrayed. Uh, which character was it? Yeah, I believe it was. I believe Elizabeth Taylor was playing Amy, and obviously June Allison was playing Joe. And I felt it was pretty true to the text, so I didn't really. And I felt it had its own, not to sound corny, but it had its own vibe. You know what I mean? So and also I didn't see the Katharine Hepburn version to get a context of what the critics were saying, like, oh, it's not as good as that version, blah blah blah. Like, I just I don't know enough about that first iteration for me to even agree. But nevertheless, I am curious about the Katharine Hepburn version. I still haven't seen it, and like I mentioned before, I still haven't seen the Winona Ryder version. So yeah. Um, but yeah. Ooh. Okay, I don't want to be mean. But you know what? I tend to be mean in these reviews, don't I? I'm just gonna get it over with. Feel free to disagree with me, as always. Here's the thing. If memory serves, I've seen the June Allison and Elizabeth Taylor version. Uh, yeah, I'm naming it by the actors because I can't remember the precise year it was made, so please bear with me. Um, what I remember most about it was that I liked the chemistry between the cast, so I think that's part of why I had no complaints for it. Um, but yeah, with the version starring Emma Watson, I think I just wasn't feeling like the sisters were sisters. I mean, like, it's explicitly said, but you just don't feel it. And like, and yeah, what was it for the one starring Emma Watson? I feel like Marmee wasn't even there, was barely there. I can't remember Marmee being there all that much. I remember seeing Aunt March for a moment where it's trying to sound super woke, excuse me, but like it. As you can tell, the 2019 version, I believe it is from 2019, um, starring Emma Watson. I know I'm forgetting the year, so forgive me for repeating the actors' names. Clearly, you can tell that it has not resonated with how I remember the book and how much I treasure the book. And I mean, if other people enjoy it, good for them. It's just I'm unfortunately not one of those people. Honestly, I don't see myself as the kind of viewer that's strictly, oh, the book is better. But in this case, yes. At least when it comes to the Emma Watson version, no shade to Emma Watson, I still respect her as an actress. I think, her. I think them. I wouldn't have taken away, the storyline for Meg. I think it was a beautiful take on Meg's character development. But yeah, the other stuff, it's too soap opera for me. It's just not my cup of tea, but I really liked seeing Meg's growth as a person, as a wife, as a mother. I thought that was beautiful. Now, now we're going to get back on topic. I know I was not expecting to, talk this long about, um Louisa May Alcott's work being interpreted, across the years, but it just, yeah, because I was feeling tired because, I got Moderna pretty recently. Go figure. So I wasn't expecting to talk for this long, but here we are. I hope that was tolerable. I really hope that was tolerable for you to see. I know it was basically me ranting, but when is that a surprise? It's the K Lighthouse Diary, okay? Anyways, but I digress. Okay, back on the actual main topic, the series version starring Bay. And I know I'm a terrible person, but I should really get better at, remembering cast members and directors and producers and writers, but it doesn't come naturally to me, okay? I'm gonna work on it. I should work on it. Anyways, okay. So, yes, casting, 10 out of 10. Pacing, 10 out of 10. Um, I'm not a historical expert, but with the motif and the consistency of keeping that motif of, that time period, in my personal opinion as a viewer, 10 out of 10. Um, Chemistry, 10 out of 10. I won't lie, in the beginning of the series, I was feeling a little sketched because there was a scene where all four sisters are in a bedroom or whatever, and I was trying to figure out what the hell are they doing. Um, yeah, I was getting a little scared about, oh, please don't make it a situation where it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm remembering the title of this movie correctly. I was really hoping, please don't make it messed up like The Beguiled or something like that. Um, oh my god, but yeah, I know. I think that's the title of that movie. I I I also like to follow, Elle Fanning's work as much as possible. And I still haven't seen that movie, so remind me to check it out eventually because I think Elle Fanning is an excellent actress. Um anyway, yeah, and I like the soundtrack too. I really like I really like how they used music for this. I really like the title theme. It's very whimsical. It really gives you that childlike um, wonder kind of vibe. I know I bring that term a lot um, on on this place of the internet, but it's just I can't really think of a better way to describe it. Yeah, it's very wistful, very playful kind of intro, and it's very fitting with the dynamic of the way that the story is carried out and the way that the characters are portrayed. It's just it again. It's like I mentioned before. The motif is 10 out of 10. Like everything is just seamlessly woven together, and I wouldn't change a thing about this series. Um, and also, accuracy when it comes to the text, 10 out of 10. I believe there were some creative liberties, but I think they were subtle enough to just tie the scenes together. And I really appreciated that. It's just, this should, see, this series, no offense to the Emma Watson version, this series should be the one that should have critical acclaim right now. This should be the one that's super popular right now, the one that's popping off right now. That's, ooh. Yeah, and I feel like just about anyone of any background demographic can watch it and find something to like about it, in my humble opinion. Um, yeah, extremely well done. Um, yeah, I really like how they they focus so much on the human aspect of each character. Yeah, even their dad. So it's just wow, just because the thing is that with Louisa May Alcott's original text, we only get, insight of their father through the mom. But we actually, yeah, I think this is the first time that I can remember an iteration of Little Women where you kind of see it from the dad's point of view for a second. It's just wow. And the way that they did it was super graceful. Yeah, everything depicted and written and directed and portrayed and uh, so on and so forth. Just total class, total respect. I really feel like this is definitely the kind of work that every fan, well, everyone that has loved the Little Women original book, absolutely recommend this series to them. I feel it will definitely be their cup of tea. Um, is there anything else I'd like to say? Oh, and of course, the cinematography was just gorgeous. Like, it felt intimate, but it, it felt like it was done with so much tenderness and gentleness. Like, I don't know how to communicate from a director's point of view, but I can only speak from an audience point of view, even though I've studied film and media in high school and post secondary for like part of my studies. But yeah, um, yeah, obviously I do look forward to watching it again. Um, mm. Here's another upside with this version of Little Women, this iteration. I really like how they handled the ending concerning Aunt March very well. It was in good taste. Um, and I like how Joe's actions at the ending of, well, at the series finale was was a very, um, am I using this word too often? A very tasteful um, tip of the hat to Aunt March, and I'm just like, I oh my gosh, I can't recommend this series enough. And oh, and I was meaning to mention, yeah, this is where I lost my train of thought. Unfortunately, I don't know all the cast members' names, but if I if I remember correctly, I recognized the one who played Amy. I believe I believe she's the same actress who played the leading lady in Detective Pikachu. And when I saw her in Detective Pikachu, I was like, oh, that's Amy! Bro, that's Amy! I was so excited. I was like, yo, I recognize her. She co starred with Bae, and now she's in Detective Pikachu? What is this? I was so happy. But yo, okay, a little tangent on Detective Pikachu, right? You know what? I honestly would have given it a high rating if they included Meryl in the movie, or maybe Meryl was there. I just never saw Meryl. But yeah, Meryl is my favorite Pokemon. I don't know many Pokemon, but I like Meryl because she's cute. I believe Meryl is a girl, but correct me if I'm wrong for the real Pokemon fans out there. Yeah, I would say I'm more of a secondhand fan because of classmates and my cousins. Yeah, primarily my cousins, and my first serious relationship. But other than that, like, yeah, no, I'm a Pokemon noob. I know, even after all these years. Here's the thing, I never played the card game. Like, I never played any of the video games. I've barely seen, episodes from the show. So it's just, yeah, forgive me for not being perfectly fluent in Pokemon. But yeah, I can't really. Ooh. Okay, you know what? Before I wrap this up, I think it's really important that I mention this. For Bae's part as Aunt March, ooh, let's get into it. Let's get into it. You know what I love? I love They really had to give her something kooky because it's just like, oh yeah, this is Angela's branding. It has to be super kooky. Like we gotta put it in. I I don't remember Aunt March having an odd relationship with her pet birds, but they just had to give Angela's version of Aunt March like a kooky relationship with her pet birds, and I'm just like, they just had to. They just had to have the kooky relationship with the birds. Like they, it's just like, Angela's here. It's got to be just a little bit crazy in here, just a little bit. I'm just like, bruh, I see, I see what you're trying to do. Anyways, but yeah, regardless, I loved it. I loved that part about it too. Um, but yeah, the moments where we have Aunt March being insightful and honestly kind of confidential with Joe, extremely well done. Extremely well done. I didn't feel like I was being spoken to in a condescending, patronizing way. So, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And I just, and the, did I mention that I love the costumes? I love the costumes too. And, oh my gosh. And, yeah, what was it called? It was, it was basically like, it was basically like a ball or something that Meg was going to. And I just, I love how she's confiding in Lori, saying, "Oh yeah, please don't talk to Joe about this. She doesn't like anything to do with flirting or anything like that." And she's just enjoying herself, in the lavishness of the event, even though she's kind of embarrassed to bring it up to Joe later on. And I thought that was super adorable, um, super adorable. I love the series. Clearly, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Definitely look forward to watching it again. Um, but yeah, those are my honest feelings pertaining to that whole franchise, especially that series that I just spoke about. And I hope this was mildly amusing. Once again, thank you for hanging out with me. Stay safe, stay cozy, stay sincere to your kooky, uniquely enlightened self. And here comes the dreaded moment for somebody out there. Can I hit that note? Maybe not today. Not today. I'm just gonna sound like a bird and a bird's failing mating call today, and that is okay. That is fine. Um, I hope to see you in the next Lighthouse Diary entry. And until then, sweet dreams when you go to sleep tonight. And if you're not going to sleep right now, sweet daydreams.